And a salute from Mr. Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27 years. When he was released, the world was waiting for him.
I had no imagination that I was going to meet such a big crowd.
There to cover the improbability of it all, Rick Stengel, then a stringer for Rolling Stone.
As a journalist, I missed the civil rights struggle. And the place that a civil rights struggle was going on was in South Africa in the 1980s. I wanted to go.
Mandela needed a ghostwriter for his autobiography. Stengel recorded 70 hours of interviews with him.
Mandela had just returned from a trip to the rest of Africa.
In the podcast, you hear history unfold.
Do you feel that you came out a stronger man after all those years in prison than you were when you went into prison?
As far as I'm concerned, I have come back with the same views I had before I went to jail. I came out mature. That I can say.
The key, I thought, to who Mandela was and became was the prison years. It was like a crucible that burned away any excess metal. And that word, mature, meant so much to him.
The younger Mandela had been a revolutionary, an insurgent, a freedom fighter.
As a young man, I was very radical, using high-flown language, fighting everybody.
In that era, the United States refused to sanction South Africa, and it's long been rumored the CIA was complicit with the apartheid state in Mandela's arrest. Listen to this.
How did they know where you were?
They said it was an American consul or something like that.
Yes, maybe it's with some CIA connection.
No, I don't know. I can't vouch for that. I have no evidence.
It's not an easy question necessarily to ask Nelson Mandela. But in the research I've done since then, I'm absolutely convinced that the CIA did tip off the South African police as to his whereabouts.
Stengel, an NBC News contributor, wrote Long Walk to Freedom from transcripts. He'd not listened to the tapes in decades.
When I first started hearing it, after not hearing it, I teared up all the time.
For in Mandela, Stengel encountered the rarest of men, a person with unequivocal moral certainty.
What was that one true thing that you learned?
I kept looking for complexity, and I realize now, in going back, that there was a simpleness to him, his focus on freedom for his people, where he always comes back to that.
Harry Smith, NBC News, New York.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.